right? So why stage the killings of soldiers in Abia State? A state that has no problem whatsoever. Now, let me show you something. Before the killing, right, in one of their campaign on social media yesterday, to show that just it's like every AK day, right? So many of them, it's just like when you just drop the banana for the monkeys, they begin to dissect it, and all of that in a way that you see their stupidity in their utterances. Like they just can't wait, okay? They can't wait to justify the act of genocide, ethnic cleansing against the Igbo, even some of them who are Igbos, against themselves. Some criminals killed soldiers and the media labeled them IPOB, okay? And then they were like, IPOB is a terrorist organization. They said that the children must not go to school. One wiri on social media actually said, ISWAP and Boko Haram, that we all call terrorist organization today, they are those who are against education. So IPOB IPOB wasn't, and it still isn't. Because before they did what they did yesterday, this was Abia, where the children who went to school for their own examinations were coming back before the killings.
Ndị mmadụ na-asị na ha ekwu ụmụazị na ịwa ya ọ ka m vidio ga na tụbatụ m ga-eji ha
So that was it. All right. So the report of people were being stopped from going for their WAEC examination is not true. But they managed to push that in order to make, the shooting of the soldiers, right, the responsibility of IPOB. So you see the disconnect there. Right? Can you feel the? I mean, can you tell the disconnection in that, right? So there was no wahala anywhere. There was no whatever anywhere. People wanted to sit at home were sitting at home. Those who wanted to go about their normal businesses were out there doing their own thing, right? Then the soldiers who mounted their roadblocks as usual, they were there. I can't show you the video because that will probably ruin the entire broadcast. But some of you possibly have seen the video. It was the most cowardly thing ever. And only terrorist does that. That is why that act is, it's totally condemned. But don't link it. Don't try and link it to IPOB to satisfy your curiosity or your bigotry or whatever anything you feel towards them or whatever misunderstanding you probably have about them. That doesn't make them terrorists, because the criminals in Nigeria would rather ignore the criminals that they are possibly funding in order to go after innocent people because of their belief when they have done nothing wrong. Now, so that you will know, this is mostly something they stage to happen before that things will happen. The peaceful Abia states, Abia is not going to be peaceful anymore. So they now have a reason to make the life of the people hell there. The people that did not carry the gun. Listen, the car the criminals drove to kill the soldiers. There is a video of it online. The number of people who participated in the killings, the terrorists, you could see them in the video. Now, a government that really want to care about the people and fear, they will go after that piece of information and track those guys down. But that is not the plan of Nigeria. That won't satisfy them. So they would rather just go after everybody they can. Now, listen, let me show you this video and tell me if this is right. They have started raiding and arresting everyone they can see, including women. Yeah, they were loading women into trucks. And this is not the first time. There was a time that 107 women were rescued from Suleja prison. Suleja in Niger State. These were women, Igbo women, young women, older women that they took from Igbo land. When they, I'm talking in this past 3 years, so they took them from Igbo land, they raided them in their communities and all of that, put them on the truck, and they dumped them in Suleja prison. 107. So 4 men, 4 terrorists killed 3 soldiers yesterday. Women, children, young men, they are being loaded into trucks by the military in Abia this morning.
The arrests have started. They're still arresting people. Anybody say, oh, see my neighbor. Oh my God, my neighbor survived. Thank God. They don't care who you fucking are. Jeez. They don't care if it's a woman or a man. You enter that van. People should stop. You listen and show the authorities. Let them postpone this exam.
So you tell me how that makes sense. Because every small thing you hear, you see, people, the Igbo people say should talk to their people. All these things, why don't you say the Zamfara people should talk to their people, should talk to Boko Haram? Why don't you say, the Borno people should talk to ISWAP? The criminals who killed the soldiers, they are possibly somewhere cooling off and watching this broadcast and laughing. Women, children, civilians, they will be raided because, and this is how they normally do it. They go into their homes. This has started now in Abia State. It is probably their own window to start doing what they have been doing in Imo, Olu, Osu, and so many other communities where they have killed as many as they want as we speak. And they have raised down as many communities as they want. I'm talking about Nigerian soldiers. Imagine you are in your bedroom or you are in your office and you started hearing, bah, 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 bah. Who are those? Nigerian army. They want to arrest you because some criminals killed soldiers yesterday.
Jesus.
Unreal. Yes. Imagine you who is visiting your family after 10 years in America, and you just decide to take your family home to see your family and everybody. And then it started. What happened? What happened? Nigerian army, Nigerian soldiers. They're picking up anyone they can pick, anyone in sight. If you refuse to arrest, they will shoot you. The media is ready to report that you are an IPOB member resisting arrest. They have slaughterhouse. They have a place called abattoir. You know, normally the abattoir is where you kill animals for food. They have abattoir in eastern Nigeria, in Owerri, in some of these state capitals, where, especially Abian and Owerri, where they are torturing young men, young women, torturing, abusing, assaulting them illegally in the name of IPOB, including those who actually have nothing to do with the organization. And that is the state of Abia. And that's probably going to be it for some time. So you tell me how this make any sense? If not just for the contraption called Nigeria. 76% of you have been reported to be displeased with Tinubu's 1 year in office. I'll come to that. But listen to this. Yesterday I said one of the things I believe could reduce tension, the first step is free Nnamdi Kanu and watch all these organized criminals disappear. He has repeatedly came out to say and reject violence. He repeatedly said that himself, to the point that he had to make videos. But yet the Nigerian media, the Nigerian criminal the criminal military, they would never work with that. They will always come back and tell you, oh, it's IPOB, it's IPOB, it's IPOB. Release Nnamdi Kanu and watch all these miscreant armed political thugs that you call unknown gunmen and watch them disappear. Because he's the only person that will tell us for a fact, the people who are actually sponsoring all these killings, all this terror that you unleashed on the eastern Nigeria to justify why you are prescribing IPOB as a terrorist organization. You free the guy and watch it melt away, you know? And then secondly, if MKO Abiola could have a national holiday in Nigeria, then millions of people that were slaughtered during that genocidal war, right, deserves more than just a mention, even more than a national holiday. But let's start from the betrayers, the saboteurs, the Igbo political leaders or the Igbo political criminals, to be bold and man up and declare May 30 every year, just one day out of, 1 day in a whole year, declare that officially in the entire eastern Nigeria as a public holiday, dedicated some remembrance celebration or what have you, commemoration. Do that. And see as well how it will become impossible for this agent of death using the instrumentality of Nigerian system to perpetuate genocide, ethnic cleansing in eastern Nigeria. Listen to this, is it reverend or father or both? Please.
Ka anyị bụ ndị ga-emezu ọchịchọ nke eze na ọgba anyị, ka a ga na-edisapọịntị na eze na ọgba anyị, ka anyị bụ ndị ga-edebe onwe anyị ebe eze ga-eri otuto n'ime ndụ anyị n'afa Jizọs Kraịst bụ onye nwe anyị. Amen. Achọrọ ka m lụta na tata bụ May 30 mgbe anyị ji were na-eselebreti Biafra Day. Otu ụdị mmadụ ma bilivuru rinne na-ekwesị iwepụta 1 day in a year anyị ga-eji wee lụta no nwere mgbe anụrụ agha Biafra between ndị Igbo na ndị Nigeria ndị ọzọ, and agha nwa bụ agha ndị Igbo na-anụ because of feel na na-emegide fa n'obodo Nigeria na things adro in their favor, so decided to kasị ka ha n'ọlụ onwe fa declare their own country na Republic of Biafra. Ndị Nigeria ndị ọzọ ganga up ebe wee nụsụ ọgụ anwa last year for 3 years egburu ndị Igbo a slaughter fa in millions. Okay, so many people lost their lives. Mana mgbe anwa na-anụ ọgụ a ị na-anya na ihe akpọ Biafra manufacture their own airport ozugbo n'uli, where their own plane, well, like if I manufacture now refine their own oil, fuel, when they fuel motor, if technologically they began to develop armored cars and armored vehicles, maybe so many things. A car blue no but survive, that country survive. By now, Japan China by now I can the most developed African country on the face of the earth. But unfortunately, that project failed. Okay, mana anyị kwesịrị iwepụta one day were na-celebrate ndị niile bụ ndị tufu ndụ fa wee na-agwa ụmụ anyị na-enwere ụdị ọgụ dị otu a, maka na ije na history na Nigeria ban go history. One of the reasons eji ban history na Nigeria bụ ka a ga na-elutara n'ụdị ha mee. Anyị nwa bụ ndị Igbo kwesịrị ịdị na-ekwusi eke na ụdị ha emego na Nigeria, so that onwe ka esikwa wee chọmakwa ịdị na-egosi anyị na onye Igbo ekwesịrị ichi na Nigeria na-eme ụdị ha na-eme, a na-elutara ha n'ọkwa ụdị ha ka emelu mgbe a ndị nna anyị ha ji wee rise up wee fight ya, so that ka ha wee dị careful about the way they treat the Igbo man in this project that is called Nigeria. So anyị ka na-ekwu ebumnobi last year May 30 anyị kwuru okwu just on Biafra, wepụtacha some video clips gosisi ụfọdụ ife, mana disi anyị sị ka agha na-eji na wee melu ebele ụtọ, mana na anyị ga-ekwu na ụdị ha anụnwa mee ka anyị na-elutekọta dị na consciousness of the Igbo man. Ọ ya kpata ụfọdụ ime anyị ji wee sọpọtụ ha na abịa na Biafra day, etina burial, etina wedding, etina anything. Onye ọbụla lota were ụbọchị a respect ya our fallen heroes. So for some of us, anyị nwa na-ekwu na okwesị na-aga na-eme, and na oluru anya na ụbọchị anwa onye ọbụla nọlụ lota no nwere mgbe ndị Igbo egburu fa in their millions in this country that is called Nigeria. Nwa gị jụọ gị gịnị kpata na ejere akwụkwọ, gwa ya ife kpata na ejere akwụkwọ, gwa ya ife kpata na enwere obere ya, gwa ya ife kpata na onwere any activity enwe, not because na anyị na mourn our fallen heroes. It's very important that we keep it in the minds of our people. Ka ndị ebe anyị wee na-ama na anyị agabigo ife yiri ife dị otu a. Onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo all over the world kwesịrị ịma na tata na anyị na-echeta ndị na-ewufuru ọbalafa because of that project that failed. Project aka bụ n'ọwa ọkụ, mebi anya iru na anya ma adị anyị otu ọ dị anyị taa, mebi ụmụ anyị ama nọ n'obodo oyibo na Ghana, nọrọ na Tanzania, nọ na Uganda na-eje school n'ụmụ African countries enwere ebe ọ gbara ha na ọ gbara anyị nafa. Okay, all because that project failed. That's why IG were they are trapped inside this project about Nigeria. For a 1 year anniversary, onye win election, 1 year anniversary. Gonna come will on a commission after 1 year. Ejena bridge allo since 90 bridge Mejenia refurbish ya so kaka na commission. Say na they be loan kenwa. Just nothing to show. Mana Jena Abia State, Abia State yesterday. I'm on Rise TV watching everything live. If you project upon project upon project upon project upon project upon project for the past 3 days, and a commission projects in Abia State. 1 year in Kete the man on office. Obudo kuloto change, Umuahia kuloto change, everywhere kuloto change. 1 year in Kete. Oh yeah, but statements. Actually, Biafra will make man and the John, the Obio John. They are fun, they are actual progress, natural development. God will raise men like Alex Oti in this southeastern Nigeria. Other governors Nelianya Kafa governance, a Christian not in a position of authority, changing the face of his state. Those on Nelianya Kaiwe dozia ani dio to kwese kodi iluzia ba na kwase na oku na enwu ase na oku na enwu 24 hours ase na ambili abago ase uzo ni ne nlopia everything and commission things 1 year nkete in office everybody on obodo can testify na ha janya fa government oh yeah be fake kwese me na ani Igbo mgbe I develop na ani Igbo the rest of Nigeria afu na I got off a poll for why we were struggling for Biafra.
At least, you know one thing I love about the Igbos. There is no amount of how Igbotic you might be that they will never make their language easier for you to understand. they will always have that English in the middle. You will get everything they are saying. Tell me you didn't get what he's saying. Yeah, the Biafra project of 1967 to 1970 might have failed, but Biafra itself hasn't failed. So to keep that, because according to him, he was like, you know, the people that for 30 years were able to start manufacturing their own weapons, refurbishing their own planes, manufacturing their own, tanks. In that short period of time, if they had succeeded, they would have been like Japan. That's what he said. And that belief is a very strong belief that is genuine. Because indeed, for survivor, they had to be creative. They improvised. They survived 3 years of bashing all over the world. So that kind of people and that achievement, that greatness, we shouldn't just only remember Biafra for the death. We should remember Biafra for the great achievement of men, inventions, to survive the ashes, the hardest of time that was upon them. They had to. They bled for 3 years. And all of that they did, dug tunnels, built, fortified armories and the rest of that, fed themselves. All those achievements, right, are also great things that should be kept in the hearts of not just the Igbos, but every Nigerian. The story of how they did all of that, if they allowed you to have ventured into reading your own history, you would have researched and learned a lot of things and get inspired from some of these things because they happened. They happened. These are not fictions. They happened. So no matter how much Nigeria wants to kind of, make it look like it's somebody's fault, it's this person's fault, or that person's fault, it happened. People participated in a program. They officially massacred and killed harmless people. They committed war crimes in Nigeria. It happened. And it should never be swept anywhere. Every Nigerian, as long as that contraption still exists, every person, carrying that identity, wherever you come from, you must know about it. You must know how it happened. And the effort is to kind of make sure that it never happen again. Declare one single day a Biafran day. Stop hiding behind that, whatever they are promising you. I'm talking to you, the Igbo criminal leaders. Declare it and then engrave it in the hearts of all the generations born and the generations yet unborn. You want to be respected, start with that. That will be the second thing. Going forward, 76% of Nigerians said Tinubu is a disaster. Out of that 76%, 32% of them was a very, 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 very disaster. And this is 1 year of Tinubu, the first year of the 7-year Shege. Watch this.
That the summary of Mr. Gideon Joe, my dear friend, and Mr. Johnson has actually, provided context to our data, because sometimes people wonder why are we presenting this sort of data, but we provided context. So basically, in terms of the state of affairs of the country, our survey has shown that 84% of Nigerians are sad with respect to how the country is going. Similarly, 81% of Nigerians feel that the country is currently heading in the wrong direction. And when you ask them about their personal economy in the last 1 year, 74% say their personal economy have worsened over the last 1 year. So this gives you a very grim, stark reality of the level of suffering in the country. And when we ask them the question, what is the biggest challenge facing you personally today? The biggest challenge shown is hunger, followed by inability to meet their basic needs, unemployment, heightened insecurity, and electricity. So in that order, Nigerians have said that these are the biggest challenges facing them. And that is why it is not surprising that when we ask them the question, how would you rate President Bola Tinubu's job performance? It was an abysmal rating. I can tell you categorically that 78% of Nigerians rated President Bola Tinubu's first year in office abysmally. And this consists of 49% who rated him very poor and 29% who rated him poor. Similarly, the Senate under Senator Godswill Akpabio has gotten also a very dismal rating. 81% of Nigerians, assess the Senate very, very poorly. Also, 79% assess the House of Reps under Honorable Tajuddin Abbas poorly, as well as 75% who rated the judiciary under CJN Olukayode as poor. So Nigerians are dissatisfied. If there are major things to be taken out of this study, two major points. One is the fact that however policies are put in place or policy reforms or policies are introduced, Nigerians assess the policy of government based on their quality of life. So food on their tables, clothes on their back, roofs over their heads, money in their pockets, and jobs that keep them sustainably engaged. These are the basics, essentials that Nigerians are looking at.
So we look at two things that came out to me.
Don't look at two things anymore. I've told you the result. You are still looking at two things. Abysmally, very poor. Tifnumbu, what do you think about yourself? Defend yourself. So let's hear it. Tifnumbu.